It's time for Business Now, right here on Zodiac, the time we discuss the country's economy and business. My name is Banda. Coming up in this edition,
we are the ones that have performed very well.
We do believe that
financial market players respond differently to the operating economic environment and forex shortage. African Trade Exchange, ATEX platform, touted as a panacea for growth of local businesses and Malawi's economy. We hope these and many more. Please do stick around. The Malawi Confederations of Chambers of Commerce and Industry, MCCCI, is optimistic that this year's Business Leaders Conference, slated for April end in Mangochi, will incubate more economic opportunities for the country. The new Chief Executive Officer for MCCCI, Hezekiah, thinks that the Mangochi Ndawa will attract more economic experts who will produce stable ways of generating forex to spur the country's economic growth. Let's hear from Kambalame, who is speaking to Christopher Sande.
So the Business Summit is really a platform that brings business leaders and also government and other stakeholders together to look at what are the challenges that we are facing as an economy, how do we come together to identify solutions that can take us out of that scope. So this year we focused, our overall theme really looks at re-engineering business in terms of building resilience in the face of shocks. So I think it's something that we all understand, the shocks that we've seen. We've seen the impact of the cyclone. We recently had the drought. Then the rains came and there was another, there was flooding and other damages. And for a business to continue to operate, especially looking at also all the challenges that we're going through because of the other international events as well, and the shortage of forex is one of them, we've seen that it's important to reflect, to take a step back and reflect and say, how do we actually address this? How do we learn from each other? And also bringing speakers that have gone through different things that can inspire others to think about how do we actually continue to carry on and also inspire growth. So that's the overall theme, but we also have specific topics because for Malawi, I think we all know that there are shortages of forex. So Dr. Mangani will be covering a topic that really looks at how do we actually work as a private sector to continue and challenge and identify opportunities to actually generate more forex. Because for as long as we have an insatiable appetite to import and buy something elsewhere, even though it's being produced here, we've seen the ministry has the Buy Malawi campaign. So we really need to start thinking about how do we actually reduce the bill and the money that we're sending out there. So basically that the platform and the role of the chamber is to create that space to have these conversations. And there'll be other opportunities as well. We have a working dinner that will focus on access to finance, and then we also have a breakfast session that will also bring some of the other leaders to really look at specific issues.
Now, Reunion Insurance has made a contribution to the Leaders Summit in Mangochi, and we speak to Dorothy Chabeyama.
It's very, very important for us. We have participated in the previous programs, and we have benefited a lot from those programs. They bring together speakers from different sectors, and the topics that are presented to us as a business entity, we make use of everything that we hear there, and to us as a company, we have really benefited by following some of the issues that are raised in the discussions. Business generally, it's hard, but we are moving as a Reunion. We are getting there. We are getting support from our customers. We are getting support from our stakeholders. So yes, generally, it's hard, but as a Reunion, we are moving. You know, the economy, the way it is, our business depends on the customers that we have. And our customers, they need income for them to buy insurance. So with the recent devaluation of the kwacha, the inflation, our customers are finding it hard to find disposable income. And you know, when they do their budget, they need to eat. They have to meet their domestic needs, and then there's insurance. In most cases, insurance comes at the bottom of the budget To me, that is hard because we are not first priority to many. I know that we need probably to create more awareness so that people should really understand the benefit of insurance.
Still talking about investment, the Malawi Investment and Trade Center, MITC, says an investment of about 2.6 billion kwacha has been made in the past 3 years. This is $2.6 billion US dollars, and this was disclosed during an investors engagement meeting in Banda, where MITC Chief Executive Officer Paul Kwengwede told Business Now that the bigger chunk of this investment, about 2 billion kwacha, has gone into the hydro power plant for Mpatamanga. That's power investment. Let's hear from Paul Kwengwede.
The past 2-3 years, or the past 5 years, we've seen the time where we had COVID-19 to 2019 to 2020 to a bit of 2021. The investment really got a bit low, well, considerably low. And then 2022 we picked up, and there's been some improvement in investment since then. In 2022 we saw big projects. We saw the Mpatamanga project coming up, and it actually improved the figures to almost $2 billion in a single year. And 2023, yes, it went down because we didn't have one huge project as Mpatamanga, but then there's quite an improvement compared to what was there in 2022, 2023, or even before that. We reached some figures around $600 million of investment. So what we tell investors is to concentrate on production of goods that can also be exported. Malawi has got a good market. We've got about 20 million people, but surrounding countries is another better market. So by producing products that not only cover Malawi, but also cover the neighboring countries, because we are in SADC and we've got agreements in SADC, you can produce a product that will sell very well in Zambia, that will sell well in Tanzania. That way you won't be worried about foreign exchange. Because when investors, when they come in, they think that if they don't have any forex, they won't be able to produce, they won't produce very well, because they might be thinking of raw materials that might be imported. We know certain areas that are tough. If you're producing and to package in bottles, you might need to import some bottles. But if you're producing and exporting, you have forex within your books, and it will be easier for you to actually import your raw materials. You'll be able to service your bankers if they're outside. You'll be able to give dividends to your shareholders who are outside your country. That way you don't have to worry about like foreign exchange problems.
Now, agriculture investor Stuart Ross is, however, not over-impressed with the low investment in irrigation. And why is Malawi not leveraging on the country's abundant fresh water? That's the question Ross is asking.
I think still the biggest challenge is finance. If we don't get finance, you cannot expand. And the cost of finance, the cost of communication is high, and the transport infrastructure, it needs to be done. But Malawi has a resource that no other country has, and it has Lake Malawi. It is the third largest freshwater lake in Africa, and it's being underutilized. Irrigation should be the mainstay of this economy for many years to come, but it needs to diversify into different crops. We've got the fresh water, we need to use it.
But as if to answer to what Ross has said, an African Development Bank has pumped in an extra $28 million US financing in the Shire Valley Transformation Project, with prospects of financing or finalizing to develop the 43,000 hectares of agricultural land in Nsanje and Chikwawa districts in the southern Malawi. Now, African Development Bank country manager to Malawi. Macmillan Anyahu tells Business Now that more investment is coming with other co-financiers. We know there's a World Bank in it. And this project, once completed, answers to several issues. A lot of challenges Malawi is grappling with. Talk about the current food inflation, import substitution, job creation, and of course, forex generation through exports. That's agricultural exports.
So what we are bringing to the table is additional $28 million, which is about 20 million units of account. We also have other development partners who are co-financing this operation, which is the OPEC Fund for International Development, which is bringing in additional $20 million. So this is a huge investment. I think this is one of the biggest infrastructure projects that Malawi has ever undertaken. So we hope to be making the investments in phases because we cannot mobilize all the resources at the same time. So we hope that this infrastructure facility that we are all supporting will help address issue of food security, will help address issues of job creation, will help support farmers in those areas and help also support the government's mega farm agenda.
Now, talk about import substitution, exports and imports. FDH Bank says its partnership with Afrexim Bank through the African Trade Exchange continues to be a panacea for growth of local businesses in the country and the country's economy itself. The bank, which struck a deal with the Egyptian Import and Export Bank, is providing a platform for importation of strategic and enabling commodities such as fertilizer and fuel. Let's hear from Afrexim Bank's Anarose Ngemu, who says African Trade Exchange ATEX platform is a gateway for businesses to activate economic activities for Malawi and other African countries to earn the much-needed forex.
The economic activities that will be spurred through this trade gateway will be enormous for the different member countries. For businesses, of course, is the ability to do more, because we are now giving businesses in Malawi an opportunity to connect with businesses in other African countries and the Caribbean, because we also have a Caribbean region that I'm also covering as part of the gateway. From banking partners, this is the first bank that has come on board as the FDH Malawi, but of course we are exposing the gateway to all the banking partners. So it's a participation ecosystem. So we are not forcing banks to come on board, but we think it's a good thing for banks to take what we've already invested in is ready for their customers.
Now, let's go to FDH Bank itself. The bank's managing director, Nonkuliji, says they have so far met with about 150 small and medium enterprises in Banda and Lilongwe, giving them access to about $10 million to boost their businesses, trade itself.
This initiative is relatively different from the normal initiatives in the sense that, for example, for the SMEs, usually when we give them facilities, we would usually require collateral, but in this particular case, it will be done differently, because this one is more of a guarantee that will guarantee to those facilities, and we expect that SMEs and indeed the corporates are going to utilize it to the fullest and also enjoy the benefits of economies of scale. What we want is to disperse $10 million worth of guarantees, and we believe that we should be able to cover all these SMEs, including the corporates, and as a result of that, we should be able to meet their requirement needs, the credit facility needs. There is a possibility that Malawi, and in fact a lot of other countries, are going into a partnership with PAPS. This is Pan-African Payment System, and as a result of that, what we expect is that this will be quite sustainable, because the issues of using forex, like the dollar, will not be a thing of concern in this particular case. Instead, each country is going to use its own local currency, and settlement will be done in the other country in their own local currency. So we believe this is going to be something quite sustainable. Of course, as we stand now, Malawi is not yet part of and is not yet a member of the PAPS. But going forward, we believe that there will come a time when the central bank is going to also, look at this one and say we need to be part of that process.
The bank's head of global markets and trade finance, Patricia Hamisi, observes that the facility is giving Malawi a platform to compensate on the trading balance. Exactly what we were just discussing due to the low volumes of exports Malawi is currently undertaking.
So there's a lot that is going on in Malawi. We are producing quite a lot. However, if you look at the inflows that are coming in, they don't match with whatever is happening on the ground. And what really pushed us to get on this initiative is a chat that we had with one of our clients who said that he is an exporter. When we asked him that where is your foreign currency account, because as a bank that's our interest to be banking such clients, he mentioned that I produce, I load on trucks, then I deliver at the border. He doesn't get the FX, he delivers to someone who pays him in kwachas. When we asked him why he was doing that, it's because he didn't know what is out there. He doesn't have off-takers outside, and he doesn't have that trust, or he didn't trust the efficiencies of the market to be able to export outside. So that's when we had a chat with Avrex, and they said that they've got this facility, and we said, I think we can help our SMEs by broadening their horizons. If they're on board on this platform, they'll be able to know what is out there. They'll be matched with off-takers, and likewise, we'll have some people who want to know what Malawi is producing, and they will be enlightened on that as well. That's what really pushed us. At the same time, we also looked at the other problem that Malawi is facing, which we got from our different partners to say that we are not exporting enough because we don't have the volumes to export. Now we looked at aggregating. How do we efficiently aggregate? This platform will offer that to the clients to say that, say you're on the platform, I'm on the platform. We build that trust to say that let's put our goods together and let's export together. So we are aggregating the needed volumes that are needed out there. There have been different solutions in the past in trying to get cooperatives or whoever to aggregate, but I think there's still that lack of trust within the businesses. That's why we're saying that this platform can enhance the trust and make sure that people are working together and doing things together and meeting the requirements that are needed out there.
Let's go to finance markets. Different players are reacting differently or responding to the current economic landscape and, of course, the forex shortages that Malawi is currently facing. We speak to National Bank Capital Markets Limited on how this landscape is affecting their pension fund management and other money markets.
We are the subsidiary of NBM PLC, and our main focus is on investment management, or we can call it fund management. And even the market can attest that we are the best portfolio managers in Malawi. According to the history of our performance for the past 5 years, we have been actually the best on the market. And just like I highlighted, on the average, we might have maybe fluctuations whereby we are closer to the competitor. But so far, we are the ones that have performed very well. And with that performance, the history of the performance, we would like to urge people to come and invest with us, especially let us manage their pension fund, because we know what we have done and we'll make sure that we do it for them. We have employers, yes, that are not remitting those, but we try our best to remind them, because at the end of the day, if you just leave them like that, they will not contribute. Now, if we see that there's a problem and some employer is not remitting funds, we actually get to them and understand their problems. We also agree on their terms and our terms to say, before you maybe default according to the Pensions Act, let us make sure that such an amount is cleared at some point. So really, yes, there are others that are doing that. And in addition to that, the good thing, the proposals to the pension funds, they highlight, the Pension Act highlights that there are certain areas whereby the financial institution is able to push these employers to make contributions. So at that point, we are also backed by them.
Wow. Temwani Simwaka is Deputy Chief Executive Officer for NBS Bank. She gave her reaction in Zomba, where the bank opened an executive banking suite. Let's hear her thoughts.
NBS Bank, as a local bank and as a Malawian, we do actually believe in our country. We do believe that regardless of what the environment throws at an individual or at a country, it's the resilience of its people that makes a difference. And we are a local bank. We do believe that we have a responsibility with everyone else to make sure that we do our part. So we don't believe we are victims of the economy or victims of what is happening in the global world, because Malawi is part of the global world. And as you realize, we've been hit both from the environmental issues, from flooding last year to drought this year, and we don't know what will come next year. There are also some, global activities which we've not contributed, but they're hitting us, like the wars and the implications on the global economy. But at the end of the day, as a people and as a businesses and as Malawians, and also NBS Bank included in that, we do believe that there is a lot more that we can do and that we believe we'll do going forward to work together so we are in control of our economy. Private and executive banking is specific banking for top executives, people running their own businesses, senior officers, both in companies as well as in government. The idea is that they are very busy people, and therefore for them just to come to the bank becomes difficult. So this is a relationship model where all these in their personal capacity, not as the institution where they're working, but in their personal capacity, they are offered a relationship banking. So when they come through, they will come straight to the suite, and they also have their own teller there. They will be able to meet the private banking manager, but they can also do banking on our digital platforms. So this is complementary to the banking that we offer on the digital platform.
Reaching that far, we've come to the very end of this edition of Business Now, right here on Zodiac. Many thanks for joining us. Until next time, my name is Banda, and it's goodbye.